Martin Luther King Jr., born on January 15, 1929, a civil rights activist. Being raised African American, he was often a victim of discrimination. He was raised in a religious household, but did not agree with Muslim views. Graduated from the Boston University of Theology, earned a sociology degree in the process. Fought for civil rights using peaceful protest and speeches. His most famous speech, I Have a Dream. Because of the bus boycotts, King was trialed and found guilty. He had to pay a fine of $500.
Dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Rosa Parks, born on February 4, 1913, a civil rights activist. She refused to give up her seat to a white man, causing much riots. She organized the Montgomery bus boycotts by not going to the back of the bus when a white person needed to sit there. Interstate bus systems forced African Americans to get out of the bus when entering certain states, like Alabama. Parks became a nationally recognized symbol of dignity and strength in the struggle to end entrenched racial segregation. Bus boycotts ended segregation in public city buses.
Jackie Robinson, born on January 31st, 1919. He was the first African-American Major League Baseball player. He was born to a family of sharecroppers and raised by his only mother and living with 4 siblings. Dominated in many sports, eventually attending UCLA as well as playing in 4 sports: baseball, football, basketball, and track. However, due to financial difficulties, he was forced to leave and enlisted in the U.S. Army. He played alongside Pee Wee Reese with the Brooklyn Dodgers, who stated, "Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42, so nobody could tell us apart." He joined Martin Luther King as honorary chairman of the Youth March for Integrated Schools in 1958. He also brought integration into the United States by breaking the color barrier in sports, which led to the desegregation of the military and desegregation of public schools.
Don't let him get to you!
Playing ball. Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42. That way they won't tell us apart.
Frederick Douglass, born on February 14, 1818, an escaped slave abolitionist. He was born a slave, often being forced to move. He was separated from his mother, then his grandmother. He credits his then master's wife for teaching him the alphabet. From there, he taught himself to read and write on his own. Once he got older, he began to teach other slaves to read by using the Bible. He wrote the narrative Life of Frederick Douglass, an escaped slave. He wanted to end the practice of slavery before and during the Civil War.
Ida B. Wells, born on July 16, 1862. She was a journalist, activist, and a researcher. She was born into slavery during the Civil War and enrolled in Rusk College, but later kicked out after a dispute with the university president. Her parents died due to a yellow fever epidemic, so she got a job as a teacher to earn money to help raise her brothers and sisters. Way before Rosa Parks, Ida was asked to give up her seat to a white man on a train, but refused because she rightfully paid for the seat. She wrote an autobiography, Crusade for Justice, the autobiography of Ida B. Wells. After one of her friends was lynched, she started to research white mob violence, and was a huge contributor to the fighting against lynching because it was essentially murder. All these wonderful civil rights activists are connected because they fought so hard for civil rights. They fought for African American rights as well as women's rights, and eventually accomplished some of their goals with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments.